let me start by thanking you for answering to our call to come so that we come together, address and inform Nigerians on what the ministry and the federal government is doing to address the current pressing concern, that is addressing the humanitarian gap arising from the partial suspension of World Food Program operation in northeastern and northwestern Nigeria. I therefore start by saying it is my pleasure to welcome you, gentlemen of the press, to this World Press Conference on Sustainable Response to address the humanitarian gap arising from partial suspension of World Food Program operations in northeastern and northwestern Nigeria. So much know that Nigeria is the most populous black nation of the world, with a population of over 200 million people, and about 60% of the population resides, 70% of the population resides in the rural areas, with agriculture as the mainstay of the economy. The World Food Program, in their country strategic plan, projected that in 2025, 33.1 million Nigerians are to experience crisis-level food insecurity across 26 states and the federal capital territory. This places Nigeria among the top 5 countries globally with population in critical need of food and nutrition assistance. The major drivers of the food crisis are both man-made and natural disaster, such as conflict, of which you are all aware, of the insurgency in the northeastern part of the country, and the banditry activities in the northwestern part of the country. Like homestay in some part of Nigeria, particularly of homestay. Some of the drivers also include the climate shock. I was all aware that flood and drought become rampant and therefore contribute to much displacement. Both climate change and conflict result in displacement, and dismantling the country's economic stability. And economic stability is also a driver to food crisis. There is also the aftermath of COVID-19. I also remember that Nigeria has passed through recession in 2 occasions, 2016 and also in 2020 post-COVID. The Nigerian government, led by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, has implemented several measures, and it continues to do to abate food crisis in the country and promote prosperity as part of the government 8-point agenda, and most importantly also as part of Sustainable Development Goal to end hunger. Those measures include dry season food production program, focusing on rice, maize, and cassava, and natural agricultural growth, the National Agricultural Growth Scheme and Agro Pocket, which seek to boost agricultural production nationwide through collaborative efforts between the federal government and the state government. Food Security Initiative, emphasizing the need for increased focus on food security, highlighting the importance of boosting agricultural production to meet domestic need and potentially export food. We have all seen how the Federal Ministry of Agriculture, under the 8-point agenda of Mr. President, launched the tractor scheme. The federal government is also collaborating with international partners. It's working with international organizations such as the Food and Agriculture Organization, UNICEF, and World Food Program, among others, to address food insecurity and malnutrition. The World Food Program currently delivers life-saving food assistance to 1,300,000 vulnerable individuals, including internally displaced persons, returnees, refugees, children, and pregnant and lactating women. However, due to severe funding gaps, World Food Programs has been forced to scale back its coverage reaching only 900,000 people out of 1.3 million people in August this year. That's the target in this August. And they are also expected to reach 725,000 in September 2025, thereby leaving a gap of 575,000 individuals, which approximate to 115,000 households without critical support. The suspension may lead to the following issues. Increased food insecurity, already we have mentioned. Malnutrition, health risks, with approximately 300,000 children at risk of wasting due to closure of 150 World Food Program supported nutrition clinics in Borno and Yobe states, as well as further displacement and migration. This will also affect other centers like Sokoto, Kebbi, and Zamfara, where there are also clinics. What are the way forward? The federal government considered emergency funding to augment government effort to bridge the gap created by suspension of Activity 1 of country's strategic plan of World Food Program. The World Food Programs has 5 activities, 5 outcome-based activities. And Activity 1, which is emergency food transfer, is the one that is affected, and it constitutes almost 70% of World Food Program's activity in Nigeria. Therefore, government is going to special intervention fund to augment the already programs that are ongoing so as to bridge the gap created by this. We're also looking at sourcing fund through the philanthropies and organized private sector. We do know that when the COVID-19 came, organized private sector play a significant role in fight against COVID-19 and thereby mitigating the effect nationwide. And we do believe that we had also prior to now had an engagement with the private organized private sector, and we have received the assurance and readiness to always partner with the ministry when the need arises. The second option is also intervention is to provide sustainable solution, implement a sustainable solution to address food insecurity, such as supporting local agriculture. And this, the ministry has already reached an advanced stage in preparation for the government and enterprises and empowerment program, which is giving soft loan to farmers, and we are targeting over 21,000 farmers nationwide, and each will receive a soft loan, which is collateral-free and interest-free of 300,000. We're also promoting nutrition-sensitive agriculture through education and enhancing resilience to climate change. We also look at as part of the strategy also is to collaboration and partnership. We are going to strengthen our collaboration and partnership between government, humanitarian organizations, and local communities to address the root causes of food insecurity and malnutrition. And in this collaboration also, we are going to pay much attention in our rapid response programs in terms of conditional cash transfer. We have prioritized immediately the harvesting from the National Social Register and Rapid Response Register so that we can pay more attention to those who are more vulnerable, especially those in IDP who are in our National Social Register. Already, so we also, as a part of our part of the long-term response is to build capacity of local institution communities to respond to humanitarian crisis and promote sustainable development. May I conclude this by calling us to an action, by urging both local and international partners to provide urgent support to complement the effort of government in Nigeria to prevent humanitarian catastrophe. We also call on general public to support the providers of sustainable solutions to address the root causes of food insecurity and malnutrition, for strengthening the collaboration and partnership to support the most vulnerable population. I must also pay tribute to our heroes, the security and most of the personnel of the security that lost their lives through the insurgency, and also to commend the effort of security organization in restoring peace which mitigate the issue of insecurity in Nigeria. Thank you, and God bless the homegrown solution. We have developed a strategic plan for a homegrown solution. And when we first came into the ministry, it's for us to have a stakeholders engagement so that we can develop our own strategy. And it's based on the premises that time is gone when we should be given fish, but we should learn to go on our own and fish. And that also tallies with the United Nations focus globally, that countries are now supported to develop the resiliency skills to get it themselves, rather than being fed with what is coming. And it's in that direction that we have developed our local strategy, one based on transparency and accountability. Because whatever we are going to have in the ministry, provided it's not transparent and it's not accountable, the impact is unlikely to be felt. So, and that is also give us a leeway in trying to address our status that we made the country when the ministry is considered as a cash and carry and business as usual enterprises. So Mr. President is focusing on the fact that we must redeem the image of the ministry and institute principle of accountability and transparency. And then we also believe that when we came in, things are not really, humanitarian and poverty responses are not in any way being coordinated. While the ministry is there, saddled with responsibility of developing policy, oversight, quality assurance, and many others, and mitigating the impact of crisis, disasters, it becomes very difficult because there is no coordination at level of ministry with state and local government level. And therefore, we have to develop a memo to the Federal Executive Council, which has got the approval of the council, to have National Council on Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Reduction. This will give us a way to develop a program that is not a federal program, but a national program in its right from inception, implementations, and oversight, so that we can have a document that will give us on our own. We also, some of the local this is to see how we to increase budgetary allocation to the ministry, and which, if you compare the 2024 budget and 2025 budget, we must thank the President, the value has this. And also, to make sure that part of it is to improve on our rapid response program in terms of National Social Register. Our already over 5 million families, which represent almost 75 million households, has been reached through the rapid response register, and over 493 billion has been disbursed. And one thing that is locally in our own national, social register, if you look at the data, it reflects the report of multidimensional poverty index in Nigeria. The report says that 65% of vulnerable populace or poor people are in the northern part of the country, while 35% are in the southern part of the country. And then if you look at the urban rural ratio, it also goes 70-30%. 70 are in the rural areas, while 30 are in the adjacent. And if you look at the total amount, the North, which has the highest in all the national poverty index, Northwest has the highest value, or almost getting to 64%, which is above even the national average of 63%. So the beneficiaries in the northern part of the country are almost 71%, while in the southern part is 29%. This is just reflecting the data that we are working with. So it means that the prioritization and paying more attention to where the burden are is also one of our homegrown solution, and also to make it more effective. And then we also look at the sustainability plan. We all believe that rapid response transfer, cash transfer, should not be a permanent destination. So also stay in national social register should be a temporary. There must be an entry point. You may be a rich man today, but for, certain circumstances may lead one to move into National Social Register. One may be in the National Social Register. Another favorable circumstances may upgrade him to go out of National Register. So we are trying, part of our local solution is to make it a temporary destination. And as such, we also follow it up with durable solution. And those durable solutions, we have already put them into practice. I can remember some of your correspondents. I think I made a correspondent of channels when I went to Plateau State to flag up the harvesting season that we have had when we had an agricultural MOU cultivation plan between Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs, our MDA, the National Commission for Refugee, and also the NALDA and Federal Ministry of Agriculture, where we provide them with all necessary instruments, and we serve as an interface to promote local reconciliation between host community and internally displaced person. And internally displaced local host community donated a farm which was cultivated by the internally displaced person, and that we had a ratio of sharing the harvest, which is 30 to 70. The 30% of what was cultivated will be retained by the internally displaced person, while the 70% will be uptaken by government, and government will also use it to feed the other IDPs. And that 70% represent the cash component, because if you leave them without cash component, you are still not making much impact. And then I also mentioned that as part of durable solution, we are looking to smallholder farmers that I've mentioned earlier, that we are going to start our government enterprises and empowerment program, that we are going to disburse to 21,000 farmers, and each will receive at least nothing less than 300,000 to support. And it's a soft loan that is non-collateral and interest-free, to targeting the dry season farming to complement a lot of losses that may be encountered as a result of flooding and many other issues.